What?
Dang, if you know warning, look at that. Luckily, you're not the one that is concerned about their appearance.
A little bit. Definitely need more duct tape here.
You broke your little teapot. Hold this. You go ahead and fix the abomination below.
Alright. Lower. Boom. Right there. Because this one's barely holding on.
Yeah, we're well aware.
Okay. Good. It's in portrait mode. Let's see. Let's go back to the search. I'm not live yet.
Why don't you switch it back to portrait mode?
I don't want. Wow, that's pathetic. Okay. Got an eraser like this. That'll work. All right.
Now, do not touch it.
Yeah.
Don't touch it. Leave it alone. We're
That
back.
actually helps with the shadow as well. It's got a lot more reach here. All
We're
right.
back. Kind of, maybe. Don't know. I'm also I'm feeling a little bit ill, actually.
I am too. I feel stuffed nose.
It's just
Like I want to vomit a little bit. Yeah.
I haven't been like eating correctly lately. Like last night for New Year's, we had I was tasked with getting 2 large pepperoni pizzas from Little Caesars and 2 things of Crazy Bread, and that was at like 4 o'clock, and I hadn't eaten anything all day. All right, I go home, eat a single slice of pizza and a thing of Crazy Bread, and was full for the rest of the night, all the way to 12 o'clock.
Oh, that's unusual.
And it wasn't like full. It was more like I don't feel good enough to eat full. It was just weird. I don't know. I didn't
That
like
is
it.
really weird, actually.
But anyway, we're back. We were talking about Miss Tanya.
Miss
and-
Tanya. We are alive. All right.
So Tanya is a very unique woman. She has, in this world that she lives in, she lives in a very normal society style world, and she's a bit of an archaeologist. She likes, well, not archaeologist. What is it? An archaeologist?
She's kind of an archaeologist. I mean,
You
You know,
okay?
like
Do I
Tomb
need to call
Raider-esque.
Rick? Morty, you okay? Hey, Morty. Hey, Morty. You doing all right there, Morty? You got a little bit of squeak in there, bud. You all right? Also, he's typing to people because he can. He likes it.
Yep.
He likes typing. He likes typing instead of helping the stream. That's fine. But yeah, so
let me see if I can rotate this video.
I actually am sitting here trying to describe and talk about this character, and I am straight up nervous. I just don't want to talk about it because I'm afraid of the way that people are going to take it. I actually am genuine. I've never felt that. That's a weird feeling.
Well, I mean, you know,
It just
you've
dawned on
held
me.
this for so long.
It is just dawned on me that this can be viewed by everyone in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that everyone in the world, it's not like one-on-one talking, like, oh yeah, I'm talking to you and you're talking to me, and we're getting our opinions, we're going back and forth with this. No, this is now literally me and you trying to show our work to millions or millions of people. That's terrifying. I'm actually genuinely terrified now. Oof. So if I don't actually like speak clearly and don't go into like the details of what things are or whatnot, it's more the fact that, not for the fact of me not wanting to disclose everything, it's more of I don't have gall to say it anymore because for some reason I've lost all drive to want to talk about this.
It's amazing.
What is?
It is apparently an abomination to attempt at rotating the video.
I tell you what, we'll fix it in post.
We'll have to.
I'll fix it in post. I'll do my best. Besides, I know. We can't actually fix it in post, technically. But you know what?
We'll do something.
We'll do something. We'll fix it later, or we'll just do it better next time. We're not going to worry about it because I don't think we have that much time as it is.
Yeah, I'm not going to be streaming for
We're not going to get picky right now. So. Actually, technically, it is in portrait mode.
Yeah,
It's just the I know
the way it's looking is what's messed up.
So we'll fix it later.
Sorry, y'all.
We'll fix it later. We apologize.
Anyone viewing now?
But yeah. So I'm basically gonna come up with like different, I guess, clothes or something. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna come up with for this. 'Cause I'm actually gonna go off my early sketch, which I'm not gonna have a problem showing. So for Tanya, this was our earliest sketch to this character. I'm gonna interrupt your viewing pleasure of his drawing. So this was our earliest sketch or earliest like depiction of.
That is not sharp. Let me see if I can.
I'll just do that.
That's nope. Don't do. Oh, good enough.
But that's our earliest depiction of who this character is. And yes, as you saw, that she has a prosthetic. God, this is so hard to talk about when it's like when you got people that
It's stage fright, but it's all right.
It is. I've never gotten stage fright ever.
I believe you.
That is such a weird experience.
I get stage fright all the time.
I am actually like slightly enjoying the new experience, but at the same time, it's still terrifying.
I gotta say, I thought I would get stage fright actually drawing on camera, so this is like really.
Hopefully, it doesn't kick in.
Good experience for me. Of course, I've been posting on Instagram, so maybe that's
probably helped.
why
But,
it's not. So.
Yeah. So she has a prosthetic. She is missing her left arm.
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I had to look at the picture. It's like, left.
Which way?
She's missing her left arm, and she is wielding a blade as a prosthetic. That I think we were going to design her.
Did you want sort of like?
I was going to make it so that it was interchangeable, so she could like have a actual prosthetic hand or something.
Yeah, but the way you have it here in your picture, it's sort of just.
It just
goes straight. She'd be so flailing to cut anything.
I mean, I don't know. We're designing on the fly here.
Yeah, so
whatever will work physically, like because you have that down packed. You have the idea of how the body will work and how things are supposed to be designed.
We'll give her just a little. She would need some sort of harness.
Yeah, that's
here. I know that you already did something like that.
Well, I did something similar, but I was afraid to keep drawing because I didn't know how it would look.
Yeah.
And I didn't have enough experience in like stuff like that to really like nail.
Let's attach it to her belt.
That would work.
Here, we'll attach it in two places to her belt, one behind, one in front. That's like not her belt, but we'll get to it eventually. Change that.
But yeah, so her model is simple in the sense that she's a woman and she's missing a limb. She is missing her left arm. She's very fit, very active. She's a very active individual. I kind of I'm going to have a bit of a small confession, is that I got most of my inspiration for her body type and the way that her weapons and her personality from Tomb Raider. A lot of her personality, a lot of the way that I wrote her is based around Tomb Raider in the sense that, yeah, she's an archaeologist, and I don't actually remember if Tomb Raider was an archaeologist. I know she was filthy rich, or at least correction because of new content, but the old one was filthy rich, and it was because she was very successful in the things. See, I don't really know how you do that, but okay. Anyways, moving forward, there is a filter, that little. Oh, it didn't give you that option. Right there.
I have one right here. I can put a filter on it. Right now it's on normal.
Yeah, so to bring out the color or something.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna leave it like it is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mess with that too much.
But yeah. So I'm granted I can draw. I'm pretty decent at drawing, but I'm not at Curfew's level. Clearly, Curfew has like a masterate degree where I am still in high school. However, where my real expertise and skill level in this project shine is the storytelling. I built.
This man has created an enormous amount of information on his own. To the point I have never gotten so far.
To be honest, most of my information and stuff is bounced off of other people. Usually, basically, I give them something I'm working on, like Curfew and his brother. And when I give them the information, they give me what they think would be normal or something that they think would be cool to see or interesting to watch. And then I run with that and see where it goes. So the moral of this story is that she is a normal girl that lives in the normal world in her normal life. And she meets Zoth. Now, Zoth ends up taking her and going with...
I'll find you. I'll kill you. I'm sorry, you said taking, so I just had, that was the first place that my mind went.
Cringe for the memes, please.
That's right.
Hey, I did the...
you did Phil Swift, so
yeah,
I
so
think I'm good.
I think I have no right to say cringe for the memes. But when I wrote this, I put my character, or I made a character for me. I made me as a character. So what you've known as Enigma is just a user to me. It's just someone I use as like the namesake. Enigma is an actual character in the story. It has always been. I use Enigma quite frequently to describe a lot of things because a lot of what goes on this channel and a lot of what goes on in the story is very reminiscent of what Enigma means, which is a mystery. You never know what you're going to get with this. And this is really coming together in a very short amount of time.
I was just thinking, I'm just going with the wind here, whatever I think of. I'm just going to draw.
This is really coming together. This is really looking nice.
Give some sort of prosthetic attachment.
I think what she should have is that...
Because I don't want it to be too integrated that she can't take it off.
No, I agree. I like the way that looks. However, I think that for the actual prosthetic, this part...
something to
be able to attach.
The whole harness is going to come off. These are stabilizers right here.
Yeah.
I'm going to shade this in for a quick second. So that's a stabilizer. This will be a stabilizer. And this over here stabilizes.
Oh, and this is literally what we do. So, this is how we operate when we are coming up with ideas for this. We are literally just doing this little number.
Try and zoom in. I don't...
Hold on. Let me do it because I have a better angle.
My poor camera has never done well with zoom. It just doesn't. All right, we'll just lift it. Yeah, for some reason it can zone in on it. Don't know why. It's weird. So this right here is a brace. This is the strap that just keeps it on. This will be sort of a covering for her
Keep this in mind.
disability.
This is our first attempt
this is
at like
literally our first
making
attempt at this.
anything, animation, game, whatever this ends up turning into. Because at this moment we are literally just coming up with character designs, telling a story, and trying to get some form of foundation to move on to a better stage and a next thing. We don't really know what medium we're going to make this into.
Fact is, likely it could be ending up as an amalgamation. I don't know if that's a real word. Collection of styles. Like we'll have cartoon styles, just because creativity knows no bounds. And if this world is on creativity, then
oh yeah,
you're going to see a lot of styles.
That's what we were doing.
So,
we were trying to explain what the world is.
Right.
Okay, so the way that I best have you understand this world is that the world that you know as what you live in and the world that these characters are in are intertwined, because this world is literally your thoughts, your dreams, your ideas, your inspirations, everything that you can draw, make, conceive, or envision resides in this world. Whoa. Are you coming home? Maybe.
It's just getting good. This is the most progress we've made all day, people.
We've been here for how long? It only took us now just to get it.
This is to get things up and running. To get the energy up to do this. All right, so erase this arrow. So what do we have here? We should probably put some sort of wiring in. We'll have a bit of wiring here. I wanted to also the world she comes from. Is this the sort of world that would have technology enough for her prosthetic, or did she have to get this from somewhere else?
I know that he's asking me a question. I have to give him full props because I never thought about it until just now when he did. He needs to be asking me the questions that you would be asking as the fans. Okay.
Where did this prosthetic come from?
All right, so the prosthetic is merely a prosthetic, much like we have in our world. It is our world. I don't know. I mean, I haven't actually decided what her world. And yes, there are multiple worlds in this story. This story has is very much like how Kingdom Hearts is, where they have a bunch of mini verses that are all connected and they all intertwine with each other, but they're very different from one another. Hold on, let me get this text message out of the way. This they're bugging me. I'm being bugged because I can't be left alone for 10 minutes. I'm not an adult apparently. Hey everyone, check out Rocky Blue. Rocky Blue currently posted a video. We will get to that. We will get to that. But you guys should definitely check it out.
Highest recommendation.
I hate to say it like this, but we don't mind if you leave.
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
We're basically going to be sitting here drawing. I said we, and it's more of Curfew.
Me.
And I still got to give him props because he is just phenomenal with a pencil.
Thank you.
My talents shine on the computer.
Definitely.
My talents really shine because
he's very good with color. I absolutely suck at color.
Be perfectly honest. I've been out of practice with drawing.
They're darker colors from what I've seen, but color is color.
Yay! All right, be back straight.
Yeah, sure. So anyway, with this character Tanya, I while he's gone, since he's the mastermind behind this character, I did not create this character, obviously. So let's talk about this character here. I'm envisioning sort of this being her connecting piece here. We're gonna have some wiring coming down. Probably have a little crossover here. I mean, it takes a lot of power to fire a blaster or wield a sword, and that'll be her attachment here. And I mean, I could go a step further and maybe add a bit of a spinning disc here.
Well, now I understand why I was being hounded.
Whatever.
My sister is at home, and which is in my household a very rare experience. So when I get to see my sisters, I really do try and get to see them. However, I'm not going to bail on the stream just yet.
I mean, if you bail, that's understandable. You actually have a reason.
No, I don't. I never have a good reason to bail on anything. But that's interesting how that's coming about. You know what?
I think I like the connecting piece there.
To give you a bit of freedom with that prosthetic. When this doesn't have to be when she is first picked up.
Okay.
Because when she's first picked up, we're going to literally draw it cue for cue as like a regular, normal prosthetic.
Got it.
Because the way that she would have it as like a normal human being is that it's like a prosthetic arm.
Okay, so this is going to be like one of those fake arms that we have.
It looks
so it's
as
not going to
of
be
right.
doing much.
You can draw it however you like because I'm gonna just assume that the way the story goes is that she will upgrade that arm.
Definitely.
She would definitely upgrade that arm after she leaves. Oh, I was getting worried for a second there.
No, I'm not going there. I can't draw that anyway, so.
I mean, I don't think it would be appropriate. I mean, we've been saying that she's a she this whole time. So, anyways.
Since it's in a drawing, I think it's fine, but. We're going to have this connection.
I do want to say is that I don't know how I feel about the cyberpunk look.
The hair, I was just...
You're just not done with it?
I don't do women's hair well anyway, and so...
The way I've learned with because I can somewhat nail women's hair.
Hair is just hard no matter what.
Well, see the way that I draw.
For me, it's especially hard as a understudy.
Is that when I'm drawing hair, the way that I'm gonna this is Enigma's turn, okay? All right, so the way I draw hair is that I very bad head, so just leave me alone. I know it's a bad head. But the way I draw hair is I let it flow, kind of like a wave, and then you just retrace where you came from. That gives that definition. But if you want it wider, and then you kind of give it like little spets, like that, you draw in single lines. You give the body in single lines, and then they interlap. Like you make little X's here by overlapping. And so we can make this the shoulder and come back here. And then you just like come back through here like so. And then again, this is a very bad head that I drew, so it's not helping the image. But and you can just like go like so. That. And then like that. Sorry, I am thinking on my feet. And then we're just going to give that basic line look thing. So there, that kind of comes out as like a cloak. Now that I'm looking at it, but the way that you want to draw it is you want to draw it so that it kind of comes around. Now I don't really claim to be like an expert in hair, but it needs to follow the body like you would normally. You were doing really good. So this part is going really well, but what you need to do is
actually I've never been able to do this.
You have to have it come down like so, something like this.
So how much hair are you thinking?
That
do you want
right
a full
there?
Full,
that right there, that could be fine. That could be like the bang.
Right
that could just be a bang. But you can have like
and
a little bit longer in the back.
Come down. All right.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So, and you want it both sides.
I mean, you can go both sides.
You know what? We'll put this side as sort of a ponytail style.
Yeah.
And these bangs are just sort
of.
But
we're just experimenting, so we don't know. But where was I on the story as far as her?
I don't know. If I do a ponytail, I always bring it down. I don't know why.
Really?
Well, see, I read Red Hood and the Outlaws, and Artemis has hair like that. So, where was I? Probably fade that up.
We're kind of all over the place with explaining.
We are. Sorry.
So, why don't you ask me another question that you want to know about this story, even something that you already know.
What would I want to know? Where
Alright, sticking with this character, the world she's on is society that lives, and I use humanoid for a reason. That there are non-humans in this story, quite a few of them, in fact. In fact, there's things that are not even living, I'm pretty sure. But she is in a humanoid society, much like Earth, and she is an archaeologist. She has a very nice skill set of being able to see. That's coming together, actually.
Yeah.
She has the skill set of being very well informed. She has contacts all over her.
She's very well versed.
Very well versed, and like I said, I basically similarly off of Tomb Raider as far as like her design and what she can do. With giving the mild handicap of the brace and the lack thereof of the left arm. She has a collection of great assortment of things in her world. She finds her world very boring. She finds it like quite dull, and she takes pleasure and interest in in going around trying to like spice up her life and trying to spice up what she can do in it. This is before she meets Zoth. Zoth comes from a different world. And I'm being very careful with my words because I don't want to spoil
I can see. I'm really holding back on commenting because I don't want to ruin anything.
So Zoth comes from a different world. Zoth is hiding on her world to escape things. Let's just leave it like that.
Yeah.
That's something that is made very apparent very early on, that he is trying to escape his past. He's trying to escape something. And she kind of takes an interest in him, and she starts to fall for him.
Remember, she's falling for him partially, though. Also, and she would have that attraction to him because he's something new.
Yes.
She's seeing all there is.
Are you checking?
It's loading over here, Adam. It's still live streaming off phone. So she is interested in him at first because he's something new, and she's kind of seeing all there is to see. Because
she has explored everything. She's made many a new discovery. Reason why she took archaeology is because she is trying to find things that are lost or are very hard to find, much like Tomb Raider. But in this sense, she has finally found something that has piqued her interest, and she tries throughout the first half of her story. She tries to learn where he came from and whatnot. You could probably, I would probably say change it later, but she probably should hold a pistol or something, some form of. See.
I was going
there. We go.
Yeah.
He's already 3 steps ahead of me, and I'm trying to correct him. But I lost my train of thought. So she
Interested in something new.
she's interested in something new, but she tries to poke into where he comes from, who he is, whatnot, and Zoth doesn't want her to have that in his life. He wants to forget what he had ran from, so he kind of tries to blow it off all the time. And so over the course of time, Zoth needed a hobby. Zoth needs something to do in this world while he's there. So he
Needs a livelihood.
He needs a livelihood. He needs some. So he starts going around trying to stop, or tries to stop bad things from happening in her world. And so she and him kind of turn into a small bit of investigating and crime fighting, kind of like detectives. So that she ends up learning and gains, if she actually has the ability. None of this is finalized, so just forgive me if it changes
this is
over
all on the fly.
Speculation, because like I said, this character, along with the other two, which is Pinstripe and Jax, all three of these characters are ones that we haven't nailed definitely. We don't have definite answers to.
That's really the reason why we're here.
We're just coming up with themes and ideas, and we wanted to come up with a video, and we thought it would be nice to share something, a little bit of something with what we got going.
Damn,
That is really good.
That's good. I'm surprised at myself.
That's really good, dude. I love that.
All right.
What time we at?
I enjoy resting while I draw, so I'm gonna rest a minute and we'll just talk.
All right, so we need to stick straight to the Q&A, because if we deviate from the Q&A and I start
All right,
speculating,
here, what's the current question right now? We were talking about what her and Zoe were doing. So
yeah, because I seem to deviate a bit. So
what is happening?
What is happening?
And she needs this. I think that's where we left off.
I love how we just have grease in the background.
I know. God.
I know we're gonna get copyright striked off of this video. I already know it.
I don't even like this song. It's not worth it.
All right. Anyway, my sister will kill you.
Wow.
Oh no, you do not talk about theater bad at all. Do not ever talk about theater badly. All right, what's my question? Because I'm reading out.
Your question is, what is happening when she meets Zoe? Where we left off was they're sort of into crime fighting.
All right, so they're sort of into crime fighting or detective or whatever they need to do to make a living and whatnot. She wants to help him, keep himself concealed, and apparently, being in her world isn't enough to be keeping himself concealed. So they start traveling the world looking for rare artifacts that would help with this and be able to better mask him being there and better give them a lot more privacy and a lot more secrecy in their things. And they come across a lot of different technologies and artifacts that are not of this world. They come across a lot of things that are not here. Now, not questioning it and not knowing it either, Tanya just helps along for the most part in keeping Zoe concealed, keeping Zoe's secrets, and trying to keep him around because she's fallen in love with him. She really likes your checklist stream.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, what are you running now?
Oh, 707. Sorry, man. Tanya.
Her name is Tanya. She is in our story called our project. She's in the Civil Project. So that's probably something we should have clarified from the get-go.
Let's finish this first. I'll put that down as the next question.
Yeah, well, yeah. All right. So she is hold on.
Shoot, where were we?
Artifacts. All right. So they were gathering artifacts. So eventually they are building. They kind of build a home using artifacts to like conceal themselves and whatnot. And so that's where her story kind of comes in. A lot of her backstory isn't shown until later. All you need to know so far is that she is a very, very well educated and very well skilled woman that has a lot of talent in doing athletic ability, and intellectual ability, and has a very deep curiosity of where Zoth comes from and what his world is. How this story kicks off with her getting involved is that they eventually uncover an artifact that is directly from Zoth's past, and instead of her showing him, she actually takes it upon herself to learn more about it by herself, and ends up stumbling upon the truth of where he is and what he is and where they come from. And by doing so, kind of attracts the attention of the people he was running from. And as a direct result, they must leave the world that they both have come to know and find a new home. And that's the general intro to who this character is.
All right. Sweet.
What's your next question?
So the next question is civil. What we should have said from the get-go. What is civil?
Civil is a passion project that I've had for many a decades, and it's evolved from many different things and has many different variations, and it's still evolving to this day. It consists of a world that I envisioned it being, as far as what I wanted to have the story. I wanted a story that was very much like the how No Man's Sky was, where there was infinite possibilities of worlds, but without all the blank slates. And Curfew's not going to get that reference, but I hope all y'all will.
Yeah, no, I don't get that.
To summarize that, No Man's Sky had over, 50 billion worlds that you could land on, like full worlds. I mean, worlds that are like our Earth, and most of them are the same. And you could explore all of them, and then you go to the center of the universe and restart. And that's the premise of the game, or it has been. It's updated since then. I haven't checked into it, nor am I going to, so don't bother sending me any links. They had their chance, they lost it. But Civil is very much like that, and that's where I got a large inspiration from on coming up with the original idea for Civil, is that what if you took the vastness of No Man's Sky, the imagination of Kingdom Hearts, and the amazing worlds of Final Fantasy, and blended them all together? And what would you get? Well, basically you would get the creations of every human being on Earth, right? Well, that's what this world is that any creation you can conceive would reside in this world. Now, for legal and copyright issues, we're not going to have famous characters like Sonic the Hedgehog, Mario, Link, Mickey Mouse, Iron Man, stuff like that. And rightfully so, I don't want to copy people. I want to create my own world, my own little fantasy, my own little corner and sliver of this dimension.
So if I could cut in and explain what you might be saying is, you are taking a story, it's a story about a group of individuals making their way through and having adventures through interactions with other stories, sort of.
No, because that's very much like Kingdom Hearts. It's very much like they have their own adventures and they go through. The best comparison I can say is that for the most part, until we have like a definite, it's going to be a world where our characters, our heroes will come together and they will go in search of clues to discover a problem that's happening at some point. They will have an objective, which the current objective, as we have decided, or their main objective has, mind you, is to free a civilization from slavery. Um, this civilization is important to some of our characters, and this is the whole reason why they go through the endeavors they do. Of course, the story and plot will change, especially as the time goes on, and the adventure itself is not definite to that's where we're going. We're going to every adventure we have in this world is definitively leading up to that main goal.
Yeah, it's more of a kickstart.
This is just basically us having fun, making little stories, little plots with characters that we've designed and that we want to see what goes on. And we wanted to make it as free as we could so that we didn't have any like loose ends, loose threads. So we kind of gave it the old, oh, it's a dream, or oh, it's not real, it's all fiction kind of trope. But at the same time, it is a real place. It is a reality. It's just not one that is normally seen, if that makes sense.
Sure. Because to me,
any other important questions? Let's stick with questions.
Tanya, how did her arm get lost? I don't know if you want to delve into that, or
this is why she is wearing a prosthetic. Why she is missing her limb is something that at the moment we haven't really come up with.
We really.
But I feel that it will come in later. It will come in importance later, and it's going to have a deep impact on her past and the way and the reason why she is the way she is. It's not a pleasant memory. Let's put it that way. It's not going to be a pleasant memory. It's going to bring a lot of pain when she goes to confront this reason, and maybe even the individuals that caused it. She will eventually have to traverse this world and fight her demons that she had once had to endure. But as far as where it is now, I don't think we have. I don't have anything for you as far as why she has no arm. At the moment, the only answer I can give you is because I thought it would be good to have a character that is completely a badass, but yet still has a handicap that doesn't enable her, to give her this more powerful feel. Despite all of her abilities, she still has one thing that she must overcome.
All right.
I think that's the best answer.
That's a good answer, actually. So,
all right. What we got?
Dang. I don't know. I say we leave that character there and
move on to the next.
Move on to the next.
All right.
I rather like that drawing.
Now, I think we should like. You wanted to do pinstripe, so let's go with pinstripe. Because Jax is pretty well Q&A. Jax has a very good Q&A. I'm pretty sure Curfew can like nail Jax very quickly. So description. Let's start with the description of pinstripe.
So who is pinstripe?
Pinstripe. Yeah.
Who is
pinstripe is very much like the 1930s, 1940s cliche, where he is. You have you had a design, like an actual picture.
I did. I don't have it with me.
Okay, so pinstripe is a very.
I'm gonna look up.
Look up
fedoras because I don't know how to draw that.
Pinstripe is like a mafia gangster style. He has the look of the 1940s, 1930s,
sort of Al Capone.
Yeah, where the swing was king, and everyone was like in the hard times, and they were making by with whatever they got. He has that very cliche mobster style to him, and he runs a gang. He has that. He has that feel to him. But despite his exterior, he's a very nurturing soul. He doesn't want anything bad to happen to anybody, but he know the world he grew up in is not nice. It's not a clean. It's not a everyone's going to get along kind of world. It's literally it's kill or be killed kind of style. It's you have to go with what you got and make do. He's actually Curfew's more of a creation than mine.
It's kind of an accidental creation, to be honest.
As far as his description goes, because that much, as far as the mafia style, is what I gave to the character that Curfew was just designing, plus the name.
Which is a great name. I don't know why I like it so much.
I feel like it's been used.
Just spot on.
I feel like it's been used a few times.
It may be,
but then again, so is like Tanya and several other names that we use.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of these are work in progresses, and you guys can tell us what you think about this. Anyways, what other description you can have of him is that?
He's a gangster who kind of soft on the inside, but he's been hardened by the times.
But he wasn't just
figure.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
Dax.
He wasn't just a gangster though. That was the thing. Is that he was like a mix between being a mobster and something else, and I forgot what it was. And your picture reminds me all the time.
He was a gentleman.
No. It wasn't a gentleman.
Because it was originally a picture of a gentleman that I sort of accidentally.
I just get the feeling that it wasn't a ninja, was it?
That was the original thing I was going for, and that's why you're having
that's
that
where I'm
memory.
having it. That's what I'm
But no, the picture was not of a ninja. The reason he immediately thought of pinstripe was because the picture was of a dude in a pinstripe suit.
Yeah,
so,
and that's kind of what his character model looks similar to. As far as now, I'm pretty sure.
Do you want a mustache on this dude?
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure you're drawing him human, but there's no definitive as to what species he is. You can draw him however you like.
Whatever I want with this dude. Right.
Yeah, you can make him have a face mask because he can't really show his face, or he has like a deformity or something. You can draw whatever you want on him. Just don't do like Men in Black and draw a nut sack on his chin. That's whatever you do. Don't draw that, because Volchinian or whatever 520 different renditions of that name you're about to draw. Oh, you know what would be neat?
Sorely tempted, but no.
You know what would be neat? A neat little design.
What?
Is he has like a Davy Jones look. He's a mobster that has a Davy Jones look.
Let's run with that.
I'm very curious to see what that looks like.
Save this face here. We'll flip the page if we do a full-fledged.
I'm very curious.
Let's pull up a picture of Davy Jones here.
I'm very curious to see what that would look like.
It's gonna pull up something.
It was just the first thought.
Right here, musician? What? All right. So, actually,
that's his human
hate
form.
not being. There we go. As a human form, that's actually really cool. I never saw that movie. I didn't see that.
You really never saw that movie?
No, I didn't. Well, when it came out,
by the way, in case anyone,
So,
in case anybody knows what,
I kind of like that. I can see this happening. We can make him have dreads instead of tentacles, or tentacles. Tentacles are fine.
Tentacles that look like dreads.
That's. I don't know if I can't. I cannot do that. Dreads are hard enough. That's masterful work, though. They made that look like a beard. I mean, that's impressive.
I don't think maybe.
I am gonna go back and watch it, though.
Trim the beard. He doesn't have a beard. He has a mustache.
Okay. We could give him a long
and then
Spanish mustache.
Long Spanish.
Yeah.
long Spanish mustache, and a little
squiggly sides. Okay.
Scriggles. There we go. He's like we gotta trim his tentacles. And yeah, see, like we're saying, we're coming up with ideas on the fly. Oof. But yeah, Pinstripe in his world, because he lives in a different world. Pinstripe is a very feared man.
I just realized I can draw this skull however I want to draw this skull.
Yeah, so you can. You're free to do whatever you want with this one.
Elongate.
This one does not have any borders to him. Yeah. What was this movie? Pinstripe. He's a very feared man. He's very powerful. He has a lot of influence, and he's well aware that not just that, he also is well aware that there's multiple worlds in which things are, because in his world is already accustomed to traveling between these different dimensions and these different realities, which I know I'm using realities and dimensions in that sense, but they're more of like each dimension is like a concept or an idea, very much like Kingdom Hearts is. Oh, that looks.
I'm liking this.
I'm liking where this is going. This is going to go really good.
So give him a skull-like aspect here. That's good.
Ooh, I am loving that.
I am really liking this.
I am very much liking where this is going.
A little play. It is a tentacle. It's got to move. Yeah. All right. Have little scragglers over here.
Maybe not so long.
Maybe not so long. So something like that.
Yeah, there's just a little curl.
Just a little curl. All right.
Yeah, if that. And it's just like just enough to know that they are tentacles. Not very.
Yeah, sort of like.
And maybe not. How about we just not go the full length then? We just like maybe give sideburns.
Just do little triangles.
Yeah, maybe little sideburns or something. He because I kind of like this like empty space.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, it's got a nice empty space there. And but yeah. Anyways, what's the question?
We were on who is Pinstripe. He's very aware of dimensional travel. He's very used to it.
Or the world travel, as I probably should be calling it, not dimension. He's very aware that there's different worlds, and
I guess we'll have to come up with defining terms later.
Yeah.
But for now, it's all right.
The different worlds. He has a very strong influence in most of them, and most people in those worlds kind of. Oh my gosh, this is coming together so nicely. Most of the people in these worlds do know who he is, and so he has a huge influence over what people can do and say because of his mob mentality and his ability to control the populace with fear. However, he does have a caring heart. He does have a. We actually probably need to go back to this if you're not using
the door. Oh yeah.
Because, like I thought, what we got on the nugget? No. What is that? Oh, what are you drawing now? 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I don't know what that means, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it today. Sorry, man. He wanted me to play a league, but I can't right now.
I don't know. You might be able to. We might cut this short because, like I said, I had my sisters I wanted to go see as well. So
okay,
we might finish the head or whatnot, and then
I was kind of thinking of only doing the head for this character
until we get a better foundation.
I'll work on it at home. We'll see.
But yeah. So ask me a few more questions while we're sitting there.
All right. So we've explored Pinstripe. Pinstripe is a gangster, an interdimensional,
and multi-world being.
Gangster who has a large influence, and he. So who is Pinstripe is answered. Check next set. There's a terrible check.
Terrible check. Ooh, how about this?
What does he do? What is his operation?
All right, his operation is that he.
Oh, thick, cozy neck. There we go. Because in the real world, most gangsters are drug runners.
Yes. Okay.
What is so contraband
Okay,
that he has to run from the law?
Hey. Okay, so I probably need to explain a device that is now in this. So there's a device in this world known as a deck, a dimensional equalizing computer. A deck is a somewhat rare device that can. What it does is allows a lot of beings to be able to travel between worlds, but sometimes they give them special abilities or things that they can do in the world. They're not easily able to be collected because there's like a few types of them. There's a few types of decks. The more common ones just allow you to travel between worlds, and the more rare ones is kind of what he's like
Searching.
or not necessarily searching for, but like contrabanding.
Dealing it.
Yeah, kind of like that. He's kind of like he's making like phony versions of it, or he's like
sort of a con artist.
He's a bit of a con artist, and he's kind of like going around like trying to make money off of like broken items or promising better equipment that isn't really that great. The thing is though is that
with fame,
I had an idea and it just went out my head. But maybe if I keep talking. The main premise behind him is that he redistributes decks, and probably a lot of times they're stolen because the deck device is not something that he can create. It's regulated by the government. Speaking of which, that's probably something that is very important.
Oh, well, civil
is very important, and I forgot to mention about it. But yeah, he basically is trafficking stolen decks and fake decks. It's starting to sound like Yu-Gi-Oh. Anyways, but yeah, so that's Pinstripe's occupation.
Okay.
Now, since it brought it up, I need to probably go into detail of what Civil is as far as the universe and why is it called Civil. Civil is a government organization that kind of has taken hold of the entirety of the multiple worlds that are aware that there are multiple worlds. And they go around and they have pretty much enslaved the entire. They kind of got the evil empire look. This is really starting to look good.
Also, apologies for the terrible suit, guys.
I don't know. I'm liking where this suit is going, and it looks really good.
We might add some armor.
That looks so good. In fact, I'm really thinking about because I'm looking at it upside down.
Yeah.
Give a mirror image of this tentacle right there. Give a mirror image of that tentacle. So it goes very similarly the same way, but it looks identical. Oh my gosh, yes. You see where that's going?
Yeah, I see it. Okay.
That looks really good.
Bring that back out. Yeah.
Because now he has that distinguished look. And I think maybe you can even give him the same fedora hat that you were trying to give him.
I might be able to. I'm not good at fedoras.
Yeah,
I'm not good at hats.
That look, that's a nail.
I kind of like the bald look. We'll see about it.
We'll see about it. Maybe he has a tattoo.
A tattoo?
Do you have a tattoo?
Tattoo of fedora.
But yeah, all right. So Civil is basically the evil empire, the government, the organization that is currently running this world. It is run by a man that I named Lucy. You know what? I'm not going to go there because
we're sort of
working on it.
reconvening that name at this point.
Because I kind of just went way too cliche with that name when I first came up with it, and we don't really know where we're going to go with him. So we'll get back to him. But yeah, that's the Civil. Civil is a government. Civil stands for something I can't think of what it stands for at the moment. Now we don't have to draw Jax right now, but as like
I'll work on some designs of the week.
With a quick 5 minutes or that we got left on the stream, I think we can do a quick Q&A with Jax because I kind of got him figured out. He's nailed.
Right.
So
who is Jax?
Jax is a very special child that came from a world that is destroyed. He has a very Superman feel to him, but he's like the anti-hero. He's the anti-hero Superman. Let's put it that way. In his culture, decks are very common. It's a very normal thing for everyone to have, and they just use it willy-nilly. Even the rare ones that most of this society is looking for. So Civil is constantly trying to collect decks to be able to further their armies and booster their forces to fight other organizations and groups and governments that exist in this realm. And the rarer the deck, the more powerful it is. Decks in this world can be copied, but not created. So some decks have special abilities and special powers, but they have to be found. Where they are placed, I'm not going to tell you. How they come into being, I'm not going to tell you. That is for you to find out and keep watching for it. Now, why is Jax important? Well, Jax has one of the most rarest decks that you will ever see in this entire franchise. The power that is inside this deck that is bestowed upon him. And again, we haven't really established a character base for him. He may be human, he may not be. I don't know what I want Jax to look like yet. But Jax, his main deal is that he is given this power, this ability, moments before his world is destroyed. And much like in the Superman story, he barely escapes. And using the deck that he was bestowed upon, he ends up breaking it. And so this unlimited, untapped potential is now hazardous to him. It is fused to him. It is now bound to him. He cannot remove it. He cannot get rid of it. It is his burden alone. However, it has power beyond his comprehension. He was only given this briefly. Now, how does this have anything to do with the story? I mean, where he ends up is in the world where Pinstripe resides. Due to a undetermined amount of circumstances, reasons, and storytelling, Jax ends up with Pinstripe in his game and kind of becomes the little kid that gets picked on and is bullied. He's bullied. He's really torn apart by the group because the group is vicious. They don't really have they're not parents. They're not loving and nurturing. They're fighting to survive, and they're gonna knock down anybody who gets in their way. The weak is useless to them, and with Jax doesn't know that he has power. He really doesn't. Unfortunately, Jax is quite small. Jax is unique in that fact that he is the size. He's probably much smaller than you will ever see anyone in here, and this is only a coincidence that he's small. He's normally just Well, actually, no. I think it would be better if he's just naturally small.
Really?
Yeah, I think it would be better that he's naturally small, and that some of his abilities that he can unlock is that he can change his size and become bigger and whatnot. It makes him a lot more enjoyable to mess with. So I think he's naturally small. He doesn't have a large size. He is probably able to be held in someone's hand or stand on someone's shoulder. He's very much like a borrower for those who may have seen the film or the TV show or whatever rendition you might see. He has that style to him where he's very diverse. At the point that we meet him in the story, he's very well aware of his size and is able to use his size to his advantage at this point. But this is due to the fact that the long amount of time that he spent in this game, where he's either been forced to either adapt to what he's been given, or he's going to die. He either adapts or dies, or gets kicked out, because the only thing he wants is a family at this point, because he's lost his, and the only family he's ever known is in Pinstripe's gang. Pinstripe acts like a father figure to him, in the sense where Pinstripe truly does care about Jax. Pinstripe really, really cares about Jax. However, his gang doesn't necessarily like the fact that he cares so much about Jax. And so, being Pinstripe and being that he has a gang, he has to keep on a somewhat of a facade, basically trying to ward off any challengers who want to overthrow him or take over the gang. So he's kind of rough to Jax and gives it that tough love. But at the same time, he does care deeply for Jax and hates to lose him and hates to see anything bad happen to him. The story and how he gets into the group is that Jax is sent on one of his first missions and first tasks to do with the gang. He's been kept off to the sides, kind of been kept as like a joke or a plaything for most of the group, and he's kind of been been picked on way too much. And so finally, he's gotten tired of it. He wants to prove himself, and so Pinstripe gives him a chance. He gives him a chance to prove his worth. Another antagonist that has yet to be officially named, which is like the second hand to Pinstripe, is kind of jealous that Pinstripe favors this boy so much, and so therefore he kind of sets Jax up for failure. He takes Jax because he is in charge of keeping Jax safe. So he kind of puts Jax in a situation where he's destined to fail or die, one or the other. And when he doesn't, because of Tanya, which I probably should say is that Tanya is the reason why Jax doesn't die in this thing, because Tanya just happens to be there at the perfect time and saves the day, and is prepared to just take him back to the gang and let him go back to his normal life that he had before. But it's all because the second hand to Pinstripe steps in and doesn't want Jax to be a part of the group anymore. The second hand tries to kill Jax right there, and says that tries to like turn Jax against Pinstripe and saying that Pinstripe never wanted you. He sent you out here to fail, kid. How you got suckered into this kind of thing, and kind of feeling enraged and kind of upset. Jax gets ready to fight the second hand. which I've noticed I've started calling him the second hand as being like his trademark name, which actually doesn't sound too bad.
Doesn't sound bad.
He could actually be a nice little side villain. Now that I think about it, second hand. But second hand, he's determined to kill this kid. He doesn't want this kid anywhere near Pinstripe. He doesn't want someone taking his right to power because he's planning to overthrow Pinstripe himself, and he knows this kid will be a problem in that regard because the kid's not loyal to the group, and he wants Pinstripe in a position where he can manipulate him. Well, to do this, he needs to get rid of Jax, but Tanya doesn't let him. Seeing Tanya does not want to see this kid die. She has no ill will to this kid, but she's not going to allow this bully to stand here and torture or kill a child for no reason whatsoever other than he's jealous. So she ends up fighting second hand herself. Not killing him, not defeating him, but more of like keeping him at bay so that they can get away. With second hand still living and is able to report back to Pinstripe, second hand starts lying to Pinstripe and saying how the boy betrayed him and how he's been taken by this woman, and getting Pinstripe all enraged, and Pinstripe having no reason to doubt second hand starts to try and tries to find Jax, and that's his whole story arc. Is that after that series of events, Pinstripe is on a mission to find Jax, and that's all he wants. Which, as far as Tanya knows, Jax is in danger from Pinstripe. And as far as Jax knows,
we close at 8:30 tonight.
Okay,
Cool. Yeah, no hurry. It's still like 40 minutes, so obviously.
No, we needed the end, so. And that was the shopkeep coming to tell us that we are being kicked out of the store now. Oh man, he's gonna hate me if he ever sees this video.
Very kindly kicking. It's a gentle kick.
Just a gentle kick in the ass. That looks amazing, by the way. I am in love with Pinstripe right now.
I know, right?
I am in love. You got a great name, a great look. I didn't even think that. After I thought about it, I was like, when you pulled up the picture for Davy Jones, I looked at it and I was like, no. I actually didn't see it at first. I was like, I feel like this is going to be cliche and it's going to pull. It's going to pull too much and it's going to feel like it's copying. But at the same time, the way you drew him,
it doesn't look the
same.
It
looks nothing like him. It looks so much better. That's terrifying.
That's terrifying.
Let's not have that on the screen. Thank you. But yeah. That's about all the story I can give you guys for now. So this is what we are working on the side. We're going to still have regular gaming videos and, of course, little art projects that we're doing here and there. But this is what we are working on. We've been working on it all last year. We have a bunch of story and a bunch of details to go into about all the other characters. We still have characters like Zoth. We have Rias. We have
I'm at 38%.
Okay,
I was at 100 when we started.
So we have Rias. We have Enigma. Like I said, that Enigma is its own character in the story. It has nothing to tie in with me. Well,
a little bit.
It has a little bit to tie in, but it will be explained. It will be explained later on whenever we get this explored. We have another character that is part of Sai's team. Also, I'm trying to think. Is that did we stick with the name Sai Curfew?
It's sort of the
It's
name
kind of
now, but I might change it.
I think
later.
we need to change it. I don't know.
I'm gonna change it, but at the moment,
All right,
it's
so
the working one.
so Curfew has his own side to this. Is that, and this is kind of where we kind of went with this. Is that we wanted to split the story between two different groups. Because we started building so many characters that were so interesting, and one of the groups, Pinstripe ends up with Curfew's group that he's designing. Sai being the leader and has ties to Zoth. And a lot of the other characters that are in this group, some of which I don't even know myself, are kind of Curfew's own little creation, and we're gonna see where they go. They all of these characters have the same goal in the end, where they are all working together to achieve the freedom of and free themselves from Sybil's grasp, because Sybil is going to interfere with all of their lives. They're going to come in and they're going to wreck their lives in one way or another, cause problems, and they're all going to have that common goal of we need to remove Sybil. We have to fight and we have to rebel against the oppression that Sybil is bringing upon them. It doesn't happen right away in the story, and nor does it become painfully obvious, like, oh, it's the evil empire kind of thing. No, it's just it's a slow, steady progression of power where you start to see the shift. At first, it's not as bad. You have like one or two people that are like not feeling like Sybil's running the guns the way that they want them to. But after a while, after time passes, you start to feel more and more like Sybil needs to go. They're doing things that are not okay, not in the sense that it's not in everybody's best interest. And that's kind of the entire story arc of Sybil. There are other story arcs that are to come. There's going to be other little hints and secrets that are going to not be answered in this series. They're going to be coming in later renditions. Kind of little things that we can, when we get ourselves on our feet and be able to actually know what we've got and what world we've built, we can then work with it and create better stories and be able to keep kind of explore a more advanced portion of the story. But until we get there, this is kind of our stepping stones. And like I said, we invited Blue to join in on this, and she is welcome to. She's helping us along with Mr. Curfew here is helping as well. And the three of us, we're kind of slowly slogging along, trying to come up with different things. But yeah, if anybody wants to give us insight, and tell us what they think, leave a comment in the comment section down below, like and subscribe, and yeah, because I have a habit of every time I say leave a comment in the comment section down below, I go straight to that. That is back when I used to record by myself. Whew. That brought back memories. But yeah, I think we're gonna end the stream here, so me and Curfew can get going. I got my sister to go to. He has drawings he want to do. But so I'm Enigma.
This is Curfew.
And we will be seeing you all in the next episode. But until then, stay mysterious.
Hey.
Take care now.